One of the funniest clips I recently saw was like Bobby Lee was talking about how like nowadays there's so many like Asian stand-up comedians going up to him, going like, "Oh man, like I love what you did for us. Like it's so cool. Like you paved the road. Now we can follow you." And Bobby Lee was like, "I didn't do it for you. I did it for me."
Welcome back, everybody, to another fabulous episode of The Careful Boys. Well, we have the esteemed Joe Wong in the building.
Yay! Joe Wong!
Okay, so I had an interesting question to ask you, especially being an Asian comic out here. Like you had mentioned, especially in America, there's a lot of racial jokes that go on there and Asian stereotypes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
What, in your opinion, are the funniest Asian stereotypes?
Yeah! Oh my god. Funniest Asian stereotypes?
Yeah.
Oh, I have an interesting story here.
Let's go.
So here's the thing. I was doing a show called the Chat AAPI. And I have to write a joke. One of the subjects is how is Joe Biden like an Asian man? You know, because
good prompt.
I know. So I just entered that into ChatGPT, and ChatGPT just responded, "I'm sorry, but we cannot generate any content that's discriminatory or derogative toward any group of people. We don't reinforce racial stereotypes." I said, "Okay, then write me a joke about how Joe Biden is not like an Asian man." And ChatGPT says, "Okay, here's a joke for you." So it just says, "Why is Joe Biden not like an Asian man? Because he does not eat ice cream with chopsticks."
What the hell?
So by it being not racist, it's the most racist thing I've ever heard.
I know. It doesn't reinforce any stereotypes. It created a new one. You know, it's like, when do we eat ice cream with chopsticks?
Because Joe Biden doesn't eat dog-flavored ice cream. That's the most racist shit I've ever heard.
Joe Biden did not start the coronavirus. We're like, what the fuck, ChatGPT? That's fucking rude.
That's crazy, but it's so safe that it's more racist than I've ever heard anybody say.
Yeah, I know. It's more offensive than...
I feel like I see my grandma eat ice cream with chopsticks.
Yeah,
really?
Like
Really? I don't think I've ever seen anybody.
How do you do that? It's like melting. Like I should like.
Because I think she was just too lazy to grab a spoon.
Oh.
Honestly, chopsticks
don't you
and
just
ice
lick
cream
it?
You know
is
what?
a good idea.
That's a great way to lose weight, actually. You know, you can't pick up that much. You know,
Portion control.
You would have to eat ice cream at the perfect temperature. It's got to be like soft serve almost.
You gotta be in an AC room.
almost.
You can't be eating that outside.
I could eat ice cream with chopsticks.
I think that sounds pretty good. What about an ice cream sundae with chopsticks? That sounds pretty good. I think that's the perfect vehicle.
I could do it.
What'd you say to me?
So you would go to Cold Stones with chopsticks?
Just try it.
I could do it. It's got to be in a cup. Because it's like a bowl of rice. You can't imagine that?
I can imagine that.
See.
What about a waffle bowl?
But you're...
Because I like it cone style.
Yeah, you're imagining an ice cream cone with chopsticks. That's what I was thinking.
I was imagining that based off of a Chat GPT.
Racist, huh?
Yeah.
Did you call it out and say, "How dare you be so racist, ChatGPT"?
Yeah, I called it out, but then it gives me this really long bullshit about something, and then I just said, I just said, you know, are you? What was the word that I used? AI's explaining it to me. And then it doesn't quite get what I meant, you know. So it just keeps spilling out nonsense, you know. Yeah.
When you were growing up in China, was there stereotypes about Americans or like other Asians or even Chinese born in America?
No. At the time, because I didn't see any Americans until I was in college.
When you came here?
No. When I was in college in China, we had a teacher from America. You know, that's how we learned about Christmas and stuff.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, but the way my dad saw an American was even more dramatic. So we live in northeast part of China, which is close to Korea, and during the war, the U.S. airplanes actually bombed my father's elementary school.
Oh, way.
Yeah, just everything's in pieces, and he was looking up. This
I'm not even North Korean.
We don't all look the same.
He was looking up, and then the American pilot was looking down. And he just because in the old days the airplane was not that big, the pilot just stuck his head out. And
There's not like a line that goes like North Korea and China.
Oh yeah, there is a line, but they still go over the line and bomb the shit out of it.
Wait, that's right, because during the Korean War, they got pushed all the way back, and China helped North Korea to push back. So that's why they probably. Oh, okay, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Honestly,
So like, fuck the elementary school.
oh
right?
yeah.
School's out, baby.
But the thing is, America was never shied from bombing a neutral country, right? Like Laos, like during the Vietnam War.
Yeah, they love it.
Yeah, Laos got a lot of bombs dropped on them. It's like they're not even in the war.
Yeah, they have nothing to do with it.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah.
They have just spare parts, so just let some of them go, I think.
Falling off the back of the truck, huh?
I mean, if you don't finish using the magazine, you just like, just empty it out a little bit more.
Yeah.
So your first American encounter was the English teacher? Or something?
Yeah, English teacher, and I remember he had a Korean wife. So from right off the bat, I know a lot about white men, just like a white guy with Asian wife. Just
First stereotype, yeah.
yeah, more stereotypes.
It's like I first learned about Christmas and yellow fever.
Yeah. But I know there's recently I saw a lot of like TikTok of Asian women complaining about hey why are people making fun of us dating white guys and not wanting to date Asians or something?
Yeah, that's a funny one.
I know, it's like, I mean, it's not totally their fault, right? Because I just feel that, I came from, China, I'm an outsider. I just feel that, when I came here, I just feel that all the female Asian students, as soon as they got off the airplane, they can find a boyfriend immediately. It's just that quick, there's just a lot of guys into Asian women,
That's a pretty popular porn search. Yeah, they did a search,
Yeah, it is.
porn search engine search.
Yeah, the SEO for Asian porn is really good.
The ranking is through the roof.
Every state, a lot of them was Asian as top.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So I think
But not Asian guys, right?
no. But I heard, you know what? I heard in the gay community, Asian guys are very popular.
Son of a bitch.
Oh,
Son of a bitch.
I'm telling you, it's true.
Yeah.
He knows.
So
Very true.
Oh, wow.
everybody,
nasty.
Latin, white, everybody likes Asian girls,
Yeah.
and in the gay community, everybody likes Asian boys.
And another thing I noticed, you guys, I don't know, do we have any LGBTQ members here?
Just Nick.
Just Nick? Oh, okay.
I mean, he's married to a lady,
Okay.
but deep inside,
They're not convinced.
He's LGBJJ.
I hate you.
Lesbian, gay, Brazilian jiu-jitsu.
Kind of true.
I think you're probably LGBTQ minus.
Oh. What does the minus stand for?
I don't know. I'm just making it up.
You know, over here, like most of the racism would be like from white people to minorities because white people are the majority here.
Yeah.
In China, when the teacher, when you had an American teacher, was there racism towards him?
Yeah, did they go, ha, 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 round eye, round eye?
Yeah, no. Oh my god.
He probably went to a good school.
Everyone just wanted to study and do more homework.
But I don't think so, because this is probably true for a lot of Asian countries. They're very friendly toward foreigners. Just
Yeah.
A lot of curiosity more than like hate and yeah.
Pretty respectful.
Yeah, my relatives from the countryside, sometimes they want to go to Beijing just to see some foreigners. That's true too. But then I rarely see people getting harassed.
Like bullying them and stuff, yeah.
But I I didn't know about this stuff after I came to America either. You know, because I came here to study in that environment. There's some racist stuff, but then at the time we had a foreign student advisor. She actually told us, be slow to take offense in America. And at the time, we didn't quite understand what was that, you know. But then it got drilled into our mind. Just learn stuff before you respond. But then over the years, I gradually realized, oh, there's a lot of bullshit going on. And later on, another discovery was. I didn't get this because I was from China. You know, people who are born here get this shit too. But in the beginning, I didn't know this. I was like,
I think that beginning is what makes immigrants so successful sometimes because they don't know the limitation. So I see a lot of immigrants come here and like they don't know the barrier. They don't know. Maybe they are being like bullied or racist, but they don't even understand.
Exactly.
So they just keep going and going and being super successful because they don't have the limiting beliefs.
Or once you know you're being discriminated against you, it's a bad feeling. You know, it kind of is inhibiting. You know?
Yeah, it's hard to function.
Oh yeah, exactly. You know, it's just like shit. You have to deal with a negative feeling. But if you're just totally ignorant about it, you're probably doing fine.
More ignorant.
That is true. It's like your revenge is the success.
That's.
But there's all these guys that like Joe who would come in and just like do stand-up comedy without knowing that there is a barrier. Like I think there's way more barriers from Asian American kids born here saying like we grew up and a lot of Asians were saying, oh, we can't become fit. Asians can't become strong. That's a lot of people thought that.
And then we were like, but we have a Bart.
We got a Bart Kwan.
But I couldn't believe it because the gym we would go to, there were so many fit Asians. So at school, when people will say things like that, I'm like, you live in a stupid world. But I can totally see that.
You're fucking stupid.
Damn, yeah.
But you live in a stupid world, such a funny.
But I can believe that if I didn't see physical examples that contradicted these statements.
You got to see the example, yeah.
Because these stupid little biases exist because people have anecdotal like observations, right?
Yeah.
They go, oh yeah, like all my uncles are weak as fuck, so therefore Asians are not capable of being fit.
Yeah, but I like this discussion because would you do something just because it's against Asian stereotype? You know, like because people think, oh, Asians are not fit, I'm gonna, go work out or I'm gonna go play basketball. Would you do it?
Like as an action of defiance?
Exactly.
I think it's just coincidence. Like if you genuinely like it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I don't think if it doesn't naturally align with you, it's hard to do something long term. So I do think that people that like maybe from the outside, they're like, oh, this guy's such a stereotype breaker, but really they're just pursuing what makes them happy. And then the people that aren't the ones that are projecting like, oh, I can't like when we first got into like YouTube and Asian entertainment, we've heard so many Asians complain about how Asians can't get into Hollywood or they can't do stand-up comedy or they can't do whatever. And from people that are doers, we're just like, you're just not a doer. Like,
Right.
I look at Joe Wong who comes here and he's like, I want to do this, I'm gonna keep doing this.
Just doing it.
You're just doing it rather than like imagining these obstacles. Maybe the obstacles do exist, but they're just doing it so much that they break past the obstacles versus being like held back by it.
Yeah, and then whenever I was taking acting classes or just going into these like networking events with Asian entertainers or people trying to become in the industry, there were so many excuses and limiting beliefs that I was like, I don't like this. I just want to be around people who want to create. Because if you spend that time and energy just creating instead of complaining, you actually get somewhere. And then so I never grew up. I was always fascinated by that way of thinking rather than being influenced from that way of thinking.
Oh, that's a good attitude. Yeah.
But I was lucky because I think how I grew up was unconventional in the way where, like, the Asian stereotypes about your parents want you to be a doctor, lawyer, or whatever. I didn't know that that was a stereotype because my parents are classical musicians. So I know Asian kids play piano, and I was a part of that stereotype, but I wasn't a part of the doctor stereotype. Or like, you know, like there's certain things that I think is actually just Chinese culture, but they say it's Asian culture. Or like some things might be like one type of Asian, but not like Filipino or whatever. So I think this whole idea of like, oh, all Asians do it this way, I'm like, I don't know. Maybe Confucianism ties us together, but other than that, I don't know.
All Asians do eat ice cream with their chopsticks.
Yeah, that's.
Well, now they do.
Yeah, now they.
Because ChatGPT said we do.
It's kind of a solid burn by ChatGPT.
Yeah, it's kind of sick, dude.
One of the
Solid
funniest
bird.
clips I recently saw was like Bobby Lee was talking about how like nowadays there's so many like Asian stand-up comedians going up to him, going like, "Oh man, like I love what you did for us. Like it's so cool. Like you paved the road. Now we can follow you." And Bobby Lee was like, "I didn't do it for you. I did it for me."
That is true. That is always what happens. Like even with because my background's dance, and then as soon as like we got famous off of dance, and then there were all these things about, wow, Asians can dance, Asians can do this, and all the interviews that we would have from Asian publications were like, how did you manage to do this despite all of the shortcomings that Asians have to go through? And like they want that answer because that's what they're used to running with, and it's like you almost have to bullshit.
Yeah.
Because it's like honestly, it's hard for anybody.
Because you can't become a good dancer or a really good dancer for a different cause other than I wanted to be a really good dancer.
Exactly. Like yeah.
Period.
Yeah. Nobody out there is good at what they do because of the drive to prove Asians can do it.
Yeah.
You see, but this is what blows my mind, right? Because like, let's say you're an actor, and let's say like, statistically, there's 20,000 white male actors. There's only 100 Asian male actors. If they're looking for an Asian role for this ensemble cast, you have a better probability of getting a role in this film than one of the white guys do in that film. You know what I mean? Not if you're fighting for the same role, but let's say there's an ensemble cast. One of them is the Asian and one of them is the white, right? So don't you technically have it easier because your competition is less than someone that has to compete amongst 20,000?
Yeah, well, I guess the flip side of the story is there are so few of those roles. You know, because I remember I was talking to this writer, Paula Yu. She said she worked on TV, a lot of CW shows and stuff. She said for a while they were doing auditions, and she was just saying, why are all the Asian actors so bad?
Yeah.
And then she realized one thing: they don't get practice. You know, if you're a white actor, black actor, sometimes you get 2 auditions a day. But for Asian actors, you have an audition every 6 months. Every audition, you got so nervous. Even though you prepare a lot, you don't get that much practice. Of course, you can't be that good. You know, yeah.
Right.
But I'm just glad that Asian American literature and stuff is coming up. So there are more stories by ourselves instead of some white guy writes it for you. Then that makes a huge difference there.
You know what's even funnier is that like the fact that someone's even interviewing me, asking me how I did it despite the Asian shortcomings already proves that I'm in a better climate than the Asians who came before me and no one gave a shit to even talk to them.
Oh yeah.
Because they were good and no one cared.
Oh yeah.
But they care now, so it's like I'm actually in a pretty good spot.
Yeah, I felt the same way too, because I came up around 2010, 2011 before Fresh Out of the Boat. Man, at the time, I got the best agent. My agent was Ray Romano's agent.
Wow.
Yeah, the best production company in America, which is David Letterman's production company. They made Everybody Loves Raymond. They made what was this other? They made a couple of really successful TV shows.
Yeah, it's a great show.
Yeah, and I have the best agent in Hollywood. We go do the pitching, no one's interested. Just climate was just so tough. But now, they were like, if you have a good Asian story, a lot of people bid for it right now. It's just so different now. Yeah.
The momentum's hot, right?
Asians are cool right now, baby.
They just needed a proof of concept. So like every single Asian content that's been out has been doing fairly well. So I think like after that proof of concept, now Hollywood's willing to invest money.
Yeah, but we have to keep up with this though, because Asians have to keep pumping out good product. Because this actually happened, I would say 20, 25 years ago. When I came to America, I just remember I was watching Margaret Cho on TV.
Oh, right.
And movie theaters has the Joy Luck Club.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, America is great. We see Asian faces in the media and stuff. But then after that, just boom, everything just stopped. Yeah.
You have to keep the momentum.
Exactly, because they died out and just was dead for almost 20 years.
Yeah, but I think America gets bored of like, so it's like like Latinos have their time, it'll go to black, and then there'll be eras of like what's popular. But like, I think what Asians never had is their own, like bubble of purchasing entertainment, supporting. Like black community always had that,
Like
right?
we need a Medea series.
Right.
Oh yeah.
And it's not.
Medea, and what was this other one?
Tyler Perry
Tyler
series?
Perry. Yeah, exactly.
Because then no one can tell him when to make movies.
Yeah.
Yep.
He just makes
it
all the time.
Doesn't he have his own
He
studio?
has his own studio, yeah.
He's doing really well.
That's also when having the Asian demographic backfires because they're the cheapest customer.
Oh, dude, true.
I go watch that shit.
Yeah, they're like.
But
I
we're
just
the
bootleg
actual
it.
start. We're the actual start of the era of self-sustaining audience.
Independent.
Yeah. Like before us, they couldn't survive without Hollywood.
Yeah, they had to.
That's true. Yeah.
But like we created the appetite and the long-time fan base. Yeah. So I don't know, man.
Wow, kudos for you guys. Seriously. I know how hard it is because I've been through this shit. It's just very tough. People just as soon as I got 4 or 5 different writers and promoters just say to my face, "Oh, we can't have any Asian family shows." I was like, "Why?" They were like, "Oh, because Margaret Cho's show failed." I was like, Jesus, they will never say this to a white guy, Hey, we just cancel Matthew Perry's show, there won't be any white guys on CBS. I'm sorry, nobody will say this,
All because Joey failed?
Exactly. They just say this to my face, and my manager at the time, he was even apologizing. He was just, Joe, I'm sorry, this is not what America's like. It's not what America is like. It's what America is, just everything's go by skin color.
That is how they're going to do it. I mean, it'll probably be a while before we have a late night Indian woman host.
Oh yeah.
Because Lily's thing didn't pan out exactly as planned. Sucks.
Unless she's super fine.
I think more than race, though, what rules America is money. And so if you can find funding, backing, someone to invest in you, you create that show on your own, you make it successful, a studio will buy it after you show dollar signs. So it's always been a game of, because like if Bruce Lee was still alive today, easily get his films funded, everything, because they know that person can sell. A lot of these companies won't put money behind brand new actors, brand new things. So I think at the end of the day, like if Asians can create a fund, which I know like Gold House is trying to do and things like that, but we need our own production houses there's tons of wealthy Asians that can invest into it.
Oh,
Crazy rich Asian.
Crazy rich Asians.
I know some of the billionaires. They will not. They're not willing to fund any.
They're not interested in that.
Yeah, they want to get their money back in 3 months, even though they're already billionaires.
Worst customer.
There's no passion for the arts.
But it literally takes that. Like we can't ask white America to pay for it. You know what I mean? Like it's like there are Asian billionaires. Which one of them wants to bankroll it and do it?
I could already see the boardroom. Not me, man. Not me, man. Not me.
What's funny too is how, because of Chinese distribution, how they're having to implement Chinese actors in movies that don't even call for a Chinese actor.
Yeah.
You know how they do that? It's like, oh, we're gonna make this character Chinese because we want this movie to sell in China.
Oh yeah.
That's interesting. But that doesn't help independent actors. It just helps out celebrities.
You ever see that? It's probably like a C-grade movie. It's called Meg. Megalodon.
Yeah, the shark, the fucking
Jason Statham.
There's random Chinese people in it. I'm like, you don't need this, but I'm like, it's probably for China.
It's funded by China.
Yeah, it was a Chinese like studio, no?
Yeah, it's like Chinese Jaws.
Well, they add whole scenes to the Chinese version
Yeah.
That's tight.
that have more of a major role for that Chinese character. So distribution helps, but also it helps a guy that's already on top.
I think we also need our own like modern day Bruce Lee too, like someone that you put on the screen, and then we get that draw in the audience. You know, so you have like white money, black money, Hispanic money, like everyone's down because like when Bruce Lee came out, everyone's paying to buy.
Everybody was a fan, yeah.
What about Simu Liu right now?
I don't know if he has a Bruce Lee draw.
Oh, yeah, probably not right now. But yeah, Bruce Lee, I have to say, he's the only Chinese guy who can appear on a black guy's T-shirt.
That's facts, though.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I don't
so
see any black
true.
guys rocking Simu.
But yeah.
We haven't had a Bruce Lee since Bruce Lee.
Oh yeah.
One of one, bro. One of one.
Yeah, I think what's different about him is he was revolutionary and had his own thoughts.
Yeah.
Actors play out other people's thoughts.
Yeah, he's
They don't have their own actual philosophy and voice and image and world. Where Bruce Lee created worlds.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be a
Has
minute.
swag.
That's a big one.
Yeah.
That's a huge one. Yeah.
Man, that's just something I can't master. It's swag, you know. it is true. You know, sometimes I would go somewhere. They were like, "Oh, we need somebody cool, swag, you know, just show us some swag." And I was like, "How do I do that? I have no concept."
That's been a request that you've had?
Oh yeah. I was like,
Joe Wong, can you give us more swag?
oh yeah. I was like, what the hell is that?
That's even hard. That's even hard for a person that has swag to just turn it on. Like, hey, show us some swag.
Oh yeah, exactly. That's how you turn some swag off. I guess.
Yeah, swag's easy to turn off. It's hard to turn on.
Yeah.
That's a crazy ask, though.
By the way, you know, I did do something because my ethnicity, though, because I did give up comedy for about a year after my son was born.
Wow.
You gave up comedy.
Yeah, because I just feel it's 5 or 6 years into it, and I'm not moving anywhere. You know, my peers are getting TV spots, so I quit for a year or two. And then I went to, we have a collaboration with Harvard. I went to Harvard, I was like, wow, there are a lot of Asians who are already like professors, you know. I just feel that in science field, we don't need another Asian guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but instead of comedy, there's not a whole lot of Asians. Because this was in Boston, there's very few, you know. Just I always tell people there's a very tight-knit Asian comedy scene in Boston, you know, which is pretty much myself, you know. So I was like,
Tight knit.
yeah. I was like, okay, you know, at least I should do something interesting or different, you know. That's kind of part of the motivation for me to go back to the comedy club too. But yeah,
That's cool.
but sometimes, yeah, I guess probably just another excuse, I guess. But you know,
That's cool.
I think you have swag, Joe.